So hello everybody.
Hello.
I hope everybody is there. So you are beautiful in the camera. Everybody fine. So here all are you now in Facebook. So I would like to introduce one by one. So first I would like to introduce Siegfried in the capital of the world, Germany, the best Oktoberfest event, beers. So how is the life in this coronavirus time? Just normal.
So far, we don't have any shortage of beer. So
Hey.
we are actually not suffering in drinking, but we are suffering in income. As we all do, I guess.
That because without incoming, let's drink as well.
Well, I have so much toilet paper and beer in my cellar. There is no emergency at the moment.
But why people in Germany, I think all around Europe, everybody looking for a toilet paper. Why?
Well, because if there is an event coming up with hundreds of people, we need a lot of toilet paper. And no, I really don't know. This is a phenomenon I've never experienced, and I cannot explain, because there is always a way to clean your butt.
From France,
Yes, hi.
from France, Voyage Factory. Tell me, do you have enough toilet paper?
I do.
The people are not afraid about the coronavirus. They probably to be the end of the toilet paper.
Yes, and pasta as well.
That's as well. And Craig.
Hello.
Craig is here. Hello from Scotland. You know, I would love to sing for you one song.
Yes.
You know,
Oh, please, please,
that
no.
one like wait. Oh, it's from Celine Dion, you know, by myself. Yeah, oh, by myself. Because it's a little hard, you know. For now, you between Europe and England.
Yeah. Well, thankfully I'm from Scotland though, and we're not not that bothered. don't give up the day job, Alberto.
Yeah, I need that DJ. But how do you feel yourself in England, in UK, in Scotland, in the world, or love Europe?
Europe. That's where we met. Yeah. We'll be back.
It was hard for me to write your profile and to say, I put like we make a talk about European buyers.
Yeah.
Europeans, let me check all countries. I cannot see now Scotland.
Well, it's nice
We
to have.
love Europe.
It's nice to have some international representation then.
Oh yeah. Exactly. So let me now introduce o gás de Alfama.
That's me, I guess.
From Portugal. It's the only place where there is less people die about coronavirus, no?
Well, we've been managing very well the situation, I think. So here in our sunny country, but the phenomenon it's as anywhere else. So we have beer, we have good wine, but no money now.
But we can change about
We will.
that.
We have a lot of strategies for that.
We will. So tell me, how? Let me check if everybody can see us. Okay. So, how do you see the future about the outbound from Europe to abroad? So let's talk with the capital of the world in Munich. So how is it the German will be a little afraid to travel, and how do you feel that?
Well, at the moment I talk to my customers very often. Actually, every day I call at least 5, 6, 7 customers because they have time too. And if I listen carefully, they don't plan anything at the moment. So my prediction is that either in tourism or in the mice business, we will have a very long period of desert, I would say. I would describe it. Or on the other side, we as suppliers come up with new ideas where the buyers get some new ideas for their goals, like hybrid events, like digital formats, like everything online, which I started about 2 weeks ago, and I could save about 15% of my business by offering seminars and little events online. And I think that could be the future in my business, in the mice business. But in tourism, I don't see any big business in tourism this year, unfortunately.
But you talk about this year. Of course, now you need to start to think about next year. So, for example, if you want to bring some events for Latin America, what the suppliers should do now for making connection with you, for example, for the buyers from Germany?
Well, I think every entrepreneur at the moment has at least 3 topics and tasks. The first one is reorganize your processes and, of course, improve it, innovate, all this stuff to get new formats out there, new ideas, new concepts. Yeah. That is the most important thing because there's not much to do else. The second part is getting contact with your customers and with your partners, like calling DMCs and exchanging information and getting ideas from that conversation. So that is a very important task at the moment. And I have called many of my colleagues and asked them, how many people did you call yesterday? How many customers did you call last week? And they actually cleaned the office. They went down to the basement and cleaned the basement. That's a very important task too. But I would rather call the customers actually at the moment. And the third part is really build up competence in digital event formats. It has always been a task in the last 3-5 years. But now everybody is learning digital. Everybody, even the lowest employees are getting digital. And I think one result out of this crisis is that there is more acceptance out there, enrolling and participating in hybrid or pure digital events. That is what we have to prepare, in my eyes.
I think I have an impression that in France is a little different because I spoke with Melanie and she told me people are not really afraid, but I mean you are more mice and Melanie is more leisure. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And how is it? By the way, you told me your clients are a mix between French and Swiss or Swiss.
Yes, actually they are French people. Located very close to Switzerland, so people go to Switzerland to work and they earn a lot of. So these are my clients, but they are French.
They all French.
They are French, and yeah.
How do you see? You had a lot of cancellation. How is the situation for you?
Yes, sure. Everything from beginning of March until July. Actually, is cancelled because even if it's not official yet, the clients don't want to wait until July to cancel the trip, and they cancel right now. So that's the problem because you're trying to explain them that they have to wait because maybe the situation will get better, but most of them don't want to wait. So they cancel, and even I had some projects for December. It was not signed yet, but it was almost done. And finally, the clients don't want to confirm the trip for December. Yeah. So they are very afraid for a long time, I think.
Yeah. I see that Ricardo is up. Ricardo, how is it in Portugal?
Well, pretty much the same as in France. So in my company, we had massive cancellations. So around 2,000 clients canceled, and from March until July. And also, I have a big group December to Dubai for a cruise line, and they also want to cancel now. So I would sum up to say, which is the $1 million question: what is the tourism after COVID? So and what to expect? In my view, there will be no one looking to travel in 2020. So we need to think which products they will be looking for, which channels, with level of security, what demand in the near future will be for the next year. So we have to work now for the next year. Then, as also Siegfried told, digital transformation. Actually, it came worldwide mandatory, the most difficult way, but now it's here to stay. And then the third point, business have to innovate or they will bankrupt. That's something I think it's for sure now. It's everyone is sure about it. And finally, the consumer travel habits will change. That's something I'm studying it a lot, and I think this will happen. There will be a quite big change because of everything what's happening. For instance, in Venice, I don't know if you've seen it. Now the waters in the canals are transparent and clear, and there's some wildlife. There are people that say they've seen dolphins. That's what the hell is that? It's something unbelievable. The pollution levels are at historical low values. There are whales seen in the Portuguese coast, just near the coast, because there's nothing happening there, no humans. So I think this will have an impactful impact in the way travelers will search for the destinations and for the products, for the hotels, for the experiences. And the role of the travel agents and the tour operator will become more relevant and more recognized by the consumer, in my opinion. So what I think we should be aware is there will be new travel patterns. So niche products related to health, wellness, well-being, self-development, connection with nature, responsible destinations. That will be the new thing. And to finalize, something that you also mentioned before, stronger collaboration with buyers, sellers, with the travel trade. I think this will be something that can really change and be the biggest added value we can give to the tourism, which is to talk more, to collaborate more, and to build a solid and honest cooperation between all our partners.
I would like to add one thing which is important for me and for my business. I think for tourism and business, B2B business at the same time, there is a lot of fear at the moment to book or to enroll in any kind of travel or in any kind of event. So the biggest problem and challenge we all have is to take away or to lower the fear of the participants. If we do all the cancellation policies, if we throw it out of the window, and if we make it very easy for the participant and riskless to enroll, I think there could be a chance that we will have business in fall, but only then.
I agree with you. Yeah. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Greg, how is it? How is your possibility business in the near future or the real future?
For the next 3 months are a complete write-off. We have had cancellations through to November now. So there's been a lot taken away from the 400 events we normally do per year. So we're going from 400 to close to zero. So it's been an interesting learning curve. However, we are like everyone involved here really taking that time to make major steps forward.
I think there is some problem in the voice. There is many echoes when you speak. I don't know where that comes from. But anyway, let's proceed.
Yeah.
So, in the end, what kind of a strategy to sell more during this time to give you more confidence from the client?
I think just now we really need to show empathy to the market. We really need to, you're talking about cancellation policies. We need to have all that in place. Everybody's on the same boat at the moment. everyone's taking that time to really take stock of the situation. Because let's be honest, people are going to get back together again. People are going to go to events. The industry is currently sleeping. Companies are going to offer incentives to staff. Sports teams are going to start playing again. So that will start to breed confidence through the market. And when that happens, we all need to be ready. And we need to be communicating with our staff just now, with our customers, with our suppliers, with other DMCs. Somebody mentioned knowledge sharing. It's very, very important. We need to keep communicating. We need to speak to clients. We need to speak to leads. We need to see where leads in the past may turn to to opportunity. We have had a number of conversations recently with previous leads, which are now turning into collaborations. Very much re-engage with people. Also, just now is a very, very good time to get in contact with potential strategic partners, whether that is other DMCs, whether that's companies who share clients, except in a different industry. This is the things that we need to be doing right now. I get asked a question. I've been taking this as a sort of reset. Here a question which has been asked to business leaders. The question is, if you had a chance to start your business again and do one thing differently, what would you do? And I think all the stuff that everyone has been putting off right now is the opportunity and the time to do that, to get our marketing ready, to show that empathy, to breed the confidence, but we all come out of this strong because we all want to be together again.
Very good point.
Yeah, but it's a little challenge. But in this case, when is the best time to start attack the European market? In this case, now in September, in December. How do you see that?
There is no break in communicating. Actually, it is a little paradox in the market at the moment, because if you, I don't know whether you have done online marketing. I do a lot of online marketing, like mailing series and community building and funnel concepts, landing pages, all that stuff. And it has never been so cheap to send out ads to potential clients, because all the Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram prices get down as well. And on the other side, the clients out there, they have time. There are 20-30% more online in the social media platforms than ever before. So it is actually, in regards of getting new prospects, it is a paradise. So please do not stop communicating. Actually enhance communicating, do it intelligently, use online. That is my message at the moment.
Yes, 100%.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, I have to just to add up something, because I totally agree with what you said. In the marketing, the short term, it should definitely not be a sales campaign or product promotion. So instead, it should be creating awareness, top of mind, of course, to keep safe, don't stop dreaming, sustainability, solidarity, enable emotional bonding with the clients. So I also agree with that. So it's like postpone holidays, not your dreams. Take a break and come later. There's a very good example with a lot of videos right now with the tourist boards and big companies, and I think we should go that way also. For the medium term marketing, then I think that will be different, because the medium term we will say that it's the after the virus, let's say after the pandemic, not after the virus, but after the pandemic. We hope like June, July, August. We're not sure about that. My thought is the marketing then should be creative and focused. For instance, fun trip, press trip, blogger trip will be mandatory to go to destinations. They'll be the first to go, and they will visit destinations. They will say, now it's safe to be here. Now we can do this here. I think that is something, important message to the destinations and to the sellers, because I think they should be the first. And of course, we as a buyers have the total interest of doing that. On the other side, in the sales, of course, in the short term, we don't know. There are people that says that there'll be a price battle with a low margin just to have a financial liquidity. This is very, very dangerous. I hope not. We'll not do it, and I hope all the market will not do it, because that will be just postponing bankruptcy of everyone. Mm-hmm. So instead, flexibilize the cancellation payment policies, offer upgrades at no cost, incentivate bookings instead of cancellations, to offer a bottle of wine every night in the hotel. I don't know. It's created added value. I think added value in the middle term, not in the short term, of course.
Companies who currently will be starting to chase wins and sales right now for this period will create anxiety and panic, and as you say, will disrupt their own industry, their own business. Companies who are looking at the long term, again, are showing that empathy and are showing that strategic position to come out of this strong, and will actually come out of this with confidence.
Well, okay, we all here talk about in the buyer side, but what a supplier needed to do now to convince us to buy them in that moment, or there is any possibility to buy now? I was talking with Melanie a few days ago that, for example, if they give us a very special rates with a possibility of cancellation, because the important point is, do you think that the most important is the clients travel now, or the money of the clients coming to the company now? There is a different point. I don't care too much when the clients will travel. What I need is to get paid now. So do you see some kind of strategy for that? Do you have this feeling?
I think it's too early for the clients to book a new trip. Actually, they want to travel, they're dreaming of traveling, but they're not ready to book a new trip right now, and it will take time. So I think it's useless to send special promotions right now. It's my opinion. I think people are not ready to book now. So for me, promotions at the moment are useless, but the most important thing is to get the free cancellation policy. For me, it's the most important for the next month, not only now, but until maybe the end of the year. Because people will remain afraid, not just now, but even in 2021, they will be afraid if maybe the virus comes back, and maybe if all this shit come back as well, if they have to cancel on next year. So they will want to get the free cancellation. For me, it's the most important.
Yeah, well,
I'd like just to make a comment on what Melanie said. I also agree. Of course, it's not the time to sell now. We cannot sell now. We cannot ask money now to the clients. Maybe in 3 months we will. Let's see. But we can now make business with the sellers. I'm doing that at this moment. So I'm getting a special promotion. I'm not saying low price. Special promotion can be flexibility. It can be experiences, offers, bike tour, and so on. I'm doing that right now to sell next year. So I'm now buying from sellers, and I'm making new products, and I will sell them in 3 or 4 months. Yeah. But I'm just making the step right now. So now it's the time, absolutely, for us, for the buyers.
And I would like to add that it's not time for selling, agree, but it's time for position yourself. And that's what I meant with doing campaigns and promotion for yourself, more for the brand, more for what you stand for, more what you are competent in, more you are where you differentiate yourself to others. Because there has been a lot of conflicts, a lot of disappointment out there in all this cancellation projects and many buyers sent to me the message, I'm ready to change my agency because they disappointed me. Or I change my hotel, or I change my airline. So there is a lot of readiness for change. And if you position yourself with your brand and your message, your story, they will think about you when they book again. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. It's important that the clients don't forget you, actually. Yeah. So you have to stay here and and be here so they don't forget you.
Yeah.
Well, everybody here went many times in different trade shows around the world. What's make you work with one supplier? When you go to many different trade shows, WTM, IBTM, IMEX, etc., if you go all of that, maybe we met 1,000, not 1,000, but let's say 200 suppliers for sure. When did you take a decision to try a supplier, to believe in this supplier? How is it for you guys?
A lot of times that can come down to how good their follow-ups are, what their product is, the personal relationship that came from it. Sometimes it's just the venue actually suits our needs, but very much like speaking to them, finding out what they're interested in, what they're actually able to offer, where else they can added value, getting to understand their product and their service.
Well, but imagine that you talk with one hotel in Cancun, and you go to the booth of Cancun. You have 10 hotels with the same profile, with a very similar product and a very similar price. Mm-hmm. You sit in the booth and you see a lot of picture and change business card. So. How did you decide not that one, but another one? For example, Siegfried, how did you decide? Because you are more complex because you are in mice. Mice is much more complex. So how do you decide which supplier you give your Deutsche Mark?
Well, thank you. I'm the complexity in person, because it is. I have developed allergy against this data-oriented elevator pitches. I hate it. And everybody of the buyers I meet, everybody complains about that every hotel, every location, every destination management company delivers almost the same story. So the first thing is I want to say to the suppliers, use the time now to develop a unique story. And it's not about how long have you been in the market and how many employees do you have and how many rooms and how big the rooms are. I don't care. I go on your website if I want to read that. Yeah. But I remember you from any exhibition. If you're as a person present differently and uniquely, and if the things you say is something to remember, because if you want to be recommendable, then I have to be able to recommend you. That's the word, recommendable. And in order to be able to recommend you, you have to tell me something which is memorable, where I have to be able to memorize what you say. And the number of rooms, I won't memorize it all.
I agree 100% with you. That's true story. True story. Just adding something else, which is before starting to say the whole story, maybe start asking who's in front of you. So what the buyer needs, who's the market. So then you can, of course, go directly to what are the needs and not like to generalize. And actually, this is the same as we buyers are doing with our clients. It's the personalization. It's to the niche markets. It's the passions of our clients. And we are personalizing more and more and more our products. And we need that from the sellers, of course, same way.
I just see, say Greg.
Sometimes I feel when I sit with a supplier, we are maybe just studying the country, and they'll right away go, "What business have you got for us?" And that's the start of the conversation. And you're like, we're just having a conversation at the moment to see if we can bring our clients out. And then suddenly they come across as not very interested in talking to you, not understanding the clients and the scale of what we work with. So sometimes it's just coming in with a more open approach, going, "Hey, this is what we do," and not showing us the hotel rooms that we've all seen. Very much have a bit more personable attitude to it.
Yeah. Melanie, where did you found most of your suppliers?
Many of them at fairs abroad, and others have been recommended to me by colleagues or other travel agencies. So recommendation, as Siegfried was saying, is the most important thing.
Yep.
A colleague or another travel agency friend of mine recommends a supplier to me. I trust in them, and I will work with the supplier. Well, at least I will try one time, and that's it. And if I'm happy, I will go on with them. Recommendation is the most important.
Recommendation, yeah. But so, are you going, guys, to some trade shows soon after the coronavirus? Do you have some shows that is still?
No idea.
The one in Paris, of course.
Paris.
Mm-hmm.
Paris will survive.
I'm going to Paris, maybe in London if it's still okay, but I'm not sure because June is very soon.
Are you talking about the meeting show?
Yeah.
That's been moved to September.
Okay.
I have an impression that it's a very bad moment for trade shows. All trade shows need to be in September.
Well, if you look at the airports and the cancellation rate, there is actually no imagination in my head that there is anybody flying to anywhere. Even if it's in 3 months, perhaps there are more flights then, but it is so uncountable and unpredictable. How should they plan? I mean, I'm feeling so sad for all the organizers of trade shows because they do such a wonderful job for us. But at the moment, it is just impossible to offer any short-term offerings. It is so sad. Yeah, absolutely.
So in this case, if there is not really many trade shows, how keep the connection with the suppliers, the new suppliers?
So I would say exactly as Melanie said, it's a recommendation. So we'll move to our buyer friends and we'll ask to representative companies that can reassure us of the viability and of the credibility of the seller.
Yeah. May I add one remark because it is so crazy. All of us, I'm sure everybody of us gets invitations for hotel visits every week in normal times. Every week, some hotel or some location is calling, can I visit you? Can I present my hotel? The last 6 weeks or 4 weeks, I've got none invitation. So where are the suppliers?
You feel so lonely. Nobody likes you. Nobody likes you anymore.
Come on, this is the time where we could exactly do this. They could show a video of the hotel of the destination. We have time to really pay attention to what they do. Where are the salespeople of the hotels and destinations and locations? They are on vacation or I don't know.
On terms of the sales calls I've had this week, the people I've spoke to, the ones I couldn't speak to before, they're all answering the phone currently. We're speaking to the brands, we're speaking to our clients because and our prospects because they're looking for opportunity and they're happy to have that conversation just now. So the suppliers should be reaching out.
And we all know that many employees of hotels and locations are at home because they can't work. Of course, we know that. And it can't be the same frequency. I don't want to exaggerate. But on the other side, if there is somebody remaining in the hotel, now it's time to do these sales calls because everybody has time for that.
About the sales call, exactly. Do you think that to have a representative in Europe for the European market, it's a point for the companies? How it's not very necessary? Is necessary? How in the trade? How did you have a connections? You believe that suppliers should have some representative company in Europe?
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, of course.
Sig, do you work with some representative in Europe? Do you have some hotel?
I'm in Europe. We have so much experience in many countries. Sometimes or most of the time we do it directly, especially hotel bookings and so on. But if we go to other countries or countries we haven't been that often, I don't call it a representative. This is an ugly name. It is a consultant. It is somebody who advises me, who guides me the way, who guides me the way to the best offer. This is a partner, a trusted advisor, whatever it's called, but it's not a representative. And I love them. If they really consider themselves as a trusted advisor consultant, then they are very appreciated.
Absolutely.
Ricardo, you had some strange experience with a supplier, like in destination that you never been? Like, we try you, let's see, and then you had some surprise. You had some...
Well, yeah, I already had some bad experiences. I had in Russia, for instance. I had a group in Russia, and it was with a supplier I met in some trade event. It was the first time, but with no recommendation, and it was not a good result. And actually, it was the once in a lifetime event. After that, only recommendation. So absolutely, the consultancy it's mandatory. And to say for the Asian market.
Tell me what it was the problem there. What it was the case? Which kind of problem?
It's the service, bad service in a bad organization. It was a circuit, so even with the hotels, the rooms were mixed up. It was not a disaster, but it was a very bad service.
Well, I wanted to have this question for two guys here, because I know they are quite famous to be very hard clients, German and France. So yeah, oh my God, yeah. German and France, oh my God. Craig, can I know why did you laugh? Do you have some? Okay, that's the answer. Melanie, tell me. So, you know, French people, it's very famous around the world because they go to the reception of any hotels around the world in Kazakhstan and they say bonjour. It's true or not?
Yeah, it's true actually. But to answer your question, I agree that having someone as a representative in Europe is really important and very useful, because you can trust him, and it's the most important. If you trust in someone, well, for me it's the first criteria to work with someone. It's too dangerous to choose a partner on the other side of the world and say, I will work with you, and then it happens the thing that happened to Ricardo in Russia, and you lose your customers just for one mistake. So if you have someone in Europe that you can trust in, for me it's much better.
But do you have some bad experience with some suppliers?
No, luckily, not yet, actually.
Not yet.
Not yet, but maybe someday. And also,
we all hope for you one day to have that.
And also, we have to say that it's more convenient because you can work with someone in Europe, so you don't have the time difference. You have someone sometimes who speaks your language and who can reply faster to your request, for instance. All the small things.
Sieg, I know that German, it's a very hard client as well.
I don't think so. My clients are very flexible and they are very innovative. They think futuristic. But of course, in regards of prices, for example, in regards of negotiations, they are quite hard. And I had to find solutions for that. Yeah, and I found.
But how they are hard in regarding the price? I mean, they are sensible at price. They what's the main point?
Yeah, that's a historical thing. I don't know. It's companies. I work for Siemens. I work for BMW. So we have good brands here, especially in Munich, and they have billions of euros every year as a profit, and I sometimes think, why do they discuss about 5,000 euros back and forth? But on the other side, it's more a game. I think it's a German game.
Look, you needed to show for your clients, do this movement. Just it's simple sometimes. You know.
Okay, you have to tell me that secret. I don't know that yet.
but Ricardo.
Well, my opinion, yeah, absolutely. I think it's very important to have a consultancy firm, a representative in Europe, especially because European market is already so different from country to country. So to know exactly the who, how, when, and to adapt to each market that the seller is aiming, only a local trade expert will be able to plan a good promotional and commercial plan that may have effective results. So I truly believe in that.
That's a good point, because there is many Europeans inside to Europe, right? It's completely different. I have the impression that soon the airport to be open, Portuguese, Italian, Spanish people to be the first who will travel without any fear, no afraid like crazy. I think that the Germans will be more. Germany will be a little like, let's wait a little more, etc., etc. Americans forget. Yeah. Americans forget, because at one time I was in Philippines, in the middle of a beautiful, beautiful place, island, nobody in the island, and in one small hotel, one American was looking like that, say, well, no, because maybe there is a terrorist. He's a terrorist here. How you can find a terrorist here? So imagine that even after the coronavirus, they still will have afraid to traveling. Do you think that in Portugal they will be a little afraid slowly, or they just jump in the plane and go?
Well, neither one nor the other, but I believe that the Latin market, and we've been hit hard, Italy and Spain, it's crazy. Not in Portugal, fortunately, but it's the spirit. And I do believe that we'll be maybe one of the first in Europe to jump out. To go overseas, if the conditions will allow. I'm planning already. I'm working on that. So I think so. Yeah.
Well, and we have to, Alberto, we have to consider that there at the moment it's a lockdown almost all over the world. But I don't know. In 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 3 weeks, 8 weeks, we don't know. But there will be a release of this lockdown, and the people who are not in this risky group, they will be able and ready to travel. And the others, the risky groups, older people and whatever, they have to stay home. But there will be, after the release, there will be a rising demand, even though, especially the Germans, will be very careful. But there will be a rising demand, I'm sure.
Yeah, but that's the point. You believe really that the German will be very careful to travel?
We are in this regard, I think we are the last. And there are other, like the southern countries, the more, I don't know, life-oriented cultures. They don't care if they are allowed to, and if they say, well, I get a flu, I don't care. That's the maximum risk I have. I won't be in the hospital because I'm young, I'm strong, I'm good. Of course they will travel, but it will take time till we get to a certain extent of volume, and I guess unfortunately it will be fall or even later. That's what we exchanged in the.
Agreed.
Craig, it's like that in Scotland.
At the moment, like in Scotland, again we're on that lockdown where everybody else is now. As I mentioned earlier, people are going to get together, and that will come from the confidence from other events. Now, being a football fan, as soon as the football stadiums start to open back up across Europe, that's going to start to trigger a confidence in a lot more places. Where are people going first once this is over? They're going back to the shops. They're going back to small events, that sort of thing. Before that, they'll travel in their own country. But later on in the year, I can see them moving to international travel and international events once confidence starts to fall back into the marketplace. And I think that's across the board.
And for you guys, what's it to be more hard to the comeback for the leisure or for the MICE segment?
So I think MICE starts first because it's more the business oriented, and if the people, especially the companies, will be allowed to travel, there will be groups like leadership meetings because they haven't seen each other for a long time, and they just want to see salespeople, whatever. And that's our main business. This will come back quite quick, but with quick I mean fall again. And leisure, I really don't know, but because there is a lot of fear, and destinations who are really managing the crisis very well at the moment, they will be first visited, my guess.
Melanie, are you going to Greece for holiday?
I hope so. That's my plan, but we'll see. For July, I'm not sure actually, but if I can go, if the borders open again, for sure I will go. I won't be afraid of traveling, but if it's allowed only.
Yeah, it will be quite complicated now. I still think that when you have an overview about tourism or MICE or leisure, if you split the world in three big parts, the Asian part, the European part, and the Latino America part. I think the first who will start strong is Europe for many reasons. The Asia, the big market of Asia is China. People will be afraid about the Chinese clients for sure. Second, for the Latino America and for Americans, the America just start with coronavirus, so they will finish very late. The third point is if you have your clients, is a different for Siegfried because he has clients around the world, but the euro and the pound is to be extremely strong. That's not help to sell for your clients. And even in advance to say, guys, if you have a problem now, we can booking now, travel late because you have a good price and a good currency rates. We could not, for example, play with that for try to sell right now near to our clients.
Yeah. One point on that is that business has been interrupted currently, and basically at the moment we're in a health crisis. We're not yet in a financial crisis, though predictions are showing that may happen. But once lockdown is lifted, businesses are going to be very, very keen to get up and running quickly. And one way they'll do that is by getting to events. Even the Minister of Sport and Tourism came out and has had a conversation, that's in the UK, with CEOs of various events companies, talking about how the events are going to be used to essentially kickstart our economy again. Other businesses from different fields are going to be doing that as well. So at the moment, while still having a strong euro, Europe's certainly a market people should be looking at. And as soon as the lockdown's lifted, businesses are going to kick back in, and that should kickstart everything.
Say again? I lost your last sentence.
Once the lockdown begins to lift, businesses are going to want to be making money across the board, across different sectors. Events are a way that people will be able to quickly kickstart parts of the economy.
Mm. Well, in regards of currency, my opinion is that most companies, not the big ones, the global players, they do still their game in moving money from this place to the other place and preparing for whatever situation. But the middle-sized companies, they don't have money to invest now and play later. That is my guess. There are exemptions, but here in Germany at the moment, almost every company is really taking care of liquidity They tried to get money from the government in order to survive in regards of spending money and liquidity, and they don't invest in whatever now and enjoy it later. I think this is not a strategy which will work. But big companies, I guess, they will be receptive for that.
Yeah,
could be.
Ricardo, Portuguese is more sensible at the prices. You think that could be a possibility to have a more contract with the clients now if you play with the rates?
Yes and no. I mean, yes, the rates are of course very important. It's quite price sensitive. So I think again we should negotiate and have the offer, but not propose it now. We should propose it in 3 months or 2, not now. Now it will be a bad move, but we have to prepare it now. So yes, I think it could be good. The first market after the crisis, let's say, the first market will start to move money will be domestic everywhere. So it will be within our own countries and within Europe. But with the exchange rate, as you said, I do believe that this can be a very good motivator with favorable exchange rates to go overseas, because maybe it's the same price to go to Latin America than to go to Greece. So yeah, I think that can be a good selling point. And Europe and my market, so the Portugal, Spain, I think we'll be the first movers.
It sounds yeah. Well, we have to find a way to sell our package as soon as possible. Okay, Siegfried is like a playboy. Nothing stopped from him.
I love you.
Everybody's in crisis. No, it's just a small holiday here. Okay, guys. So for Melanie, it's a good point to have this. You work with the two currencies, actually, the euro and the Swiss franc, yeah?
No. Actually, my clients are French. They do work in Switzerland, but they are French, so they pay me in euros. There is nothing to do with Switzerland, actually.
Well, what is your main destination for your clients?
Well, I have many, but Asia is a really good destination. Asia and North America as well.
Where in North America?
And Europe. Well, Canada and United States.
They go to Montreal?
Yes. Yes, they do the tour in Quebec or in the west coast of Canada and west coast of United States. And Europe as well is a good market, but I think this is not the subject right now.
I imagine. Yeah. Okay, guys, I think you see that we have a very complicated issue now for the both sides, for the suppliers as well. The suppliers should keep now us very near them to propose always a good offer. I think it was Ricardo who sent it to me that in Switzerland there is one hotel who sell a package for coronavirus package.
Yeah,
Tell about that.
Luxury.
What's idea about?
Yeah, it's a luxury hotel. They are selling the service for isolation. So if you need to be isolated, you can stay there for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks in your room, big room of course, with all the services that you can imagine in a luxury hotel. And you can even have your own nurse 24 hours a day if you need it. It's really upscale, so it's thousands of euros per night. But it's a very smart move, a really smart move.
You know, I love the way that the Brazilian makes the quarantine. You know, they say, I'm tired, I have to protect my family. I go to Maldives for 2 weeks.
You have a point there.
Yeah, I'm in Norway now because I'm in Norway now, not because I don't have money. It's because Norway is better than Maldives. Okay, guys. Well, we take overview about all the subject. I don't know if you wanted to say something more. I did something more.
Yeah, just to add something to what we were saying about how should suppliers, how they should communicate right now. Some of them are currently sending videos and digital visits of their countries and beautiful places of their country, mostly DMCs actually. And personally, I pay a lot of attention to this. I think it's very useful. Also, I can use it for my clients as a communication basis. So I think if suppliers can send videos, it's a very good support of communication.
What for Sigi and for Craig? Because you guys are in the mice segment. So how, in this case, to be in touch with the suppliers as my segment?
Just a lot of communication. I have seen very good use of video presentations recently, and as Melanie says, we do have the time to watch these currently. So get in touch, come up with the new products, show us, talk to us about the destination, come at us with incentive ideas for 2021, where once the curve on the coronavirus charts start to come down and level out, our marketing can start when there's confidence in the market that we can start speaking to clients again and giving them the information that suppliers are giving to us, as well as their own promotions. As soon as that confidence is back, they get all that information ready now.
And my message to all the suppliers, it doesn't matter who it is, please prepare before you call me. I will hang up. I will hang up the phone if it's a standard presentation, and I really promote what Melanie said. It is a video century. We are in the movement economy, so let us experience virtually what you offer, and this needs preparation, not only technically but in order to how you tell your story. And I'm a marketing guy. I can help. I coach hotels, so call me.
Yeah. So you could actually, it's very good because you could help the suppliers how to create this presentation during the coronavirus to catch the buyers.
Absolutely.
Not only send a PDF with all common information. My hotel has 20 rooms. Okay, great, fantastic. You have rooms in your hotel. But because the point is, it's not sell a product, but understand what your buyer wanted to buy. That's make all difference.
Yeah.
That's make all difference. No, Sigi?
Yeah, it is always the three checkpoints. The first one is, why do you do what you do? Every entrepreneur has to have a really good answer for that. What is what you exactly offered to me? Not to everybody, to me, today. And the third point is, give me a special offer, nothing standard. Give me a special price, a special condition, a special preparation, whatever. It is. I want to feel that it's made for me and for my clients, and then you will get my attention. And it is not difficult. It just needs preparation.
What suppliers can do for you now during the coronavirus? It's a good question. Look, marketing guy. Come on, go.
Well, for me, actually, I don't want to be the first one, but it just comes into my head. For me, it is, I want to learn a supplier. I want to really meet a new supplier at the next call. If I know a hotel already, I want to experience it a little enhanced, a little improved, a little innovated, because that is the time what everybody should do at the moment. If it's the same in 4 weeks what they presented 4 weeks ago, I'm sorry, they didn't do their homework.
Oh my God! I think to get some contract from you, I think it's very hard, Siegfried.
No, it's not hard. It is normal business. A little be creative, be innovative, and care to whom you talk. It is not difficult.
I want to make don't make that so long, but I would like to make a small test. If Craig is a supplier and try to sell to Siegfried, which kind of strategy you could do?
Bring whiskey.
So, again, like any client and any supplier chat, we always ask, what's your story and what's your legacy you're trying to create with your event? Ultimately, I'm getting to that person's why. Why do they do what they do? What are they trying to create at the end? I buy into that story. Now, we use that for us to then create events. But if I'm speaking to Siegfried, I'm getting to understand his story of what they are doing, and I ultimately now understand what they're trying to do. And once I have that, we can start to create common connection, story, and legacy.
Ricardo, how you could sell your product?
Well, mainly it's the storytelling. So what everyone is saying, that would be so you should be really, really good in the storytelling and have a lot of unique selling points, wow factors, something that maybe the other part never heard about. So trying to go there, to the creativity, originality, differentiation. And on the other hand, and I think right now it's very important, something that we missed talking in this conversation, the financial position of the seller. So the solid financial position, it's very important. So I have right now at this moment, I have a lot of money in several DMCs worldwide, which the groups were canceled now and they will be postponed for next year. And they have a lot of money. So if they bankrupt, I'll be out of business also. So that's also something important to reassure that they are here and they will stay here.
I didn't get. I mean, I didn't get the point with. Say again.
Yeah. One of the points which is very important for me as a buyer to hear from a seller, from a hotel, from a DMC, is to be reassured of his financial position. So to make sure he will not get bankrupt. Because he has a lot of money from me already of my actual bookings, the one that were postponed, canceled and postponed. So a lot of money is out there. And also with air companies, as everyone knows, they're giving vouchers and not the money. So one of the points will be, yes, we are here, we are a solid company, and you can trust us on that.
So that's to create a credibility now in Europe to say we are here, no worry, we will not escape with your money. You can bring your clients.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's important.
Show confidence.
Yeah.
That is a very challenge how they can do that, because they can say a lot of blah blah. No, you can pay me now, and on Notre Dame there is only the field because they don't exist anymore, the hotel. You are not afraid about that?
Of course, the thing is recommendations and to know what are the business, and of course the flexible conditions that Melanie told us about. So you don't have to pay everything, just pay 10% now and later you'll pay the rest. Let's say something like that. So just to flexibilize the payment and the cancellation policies, that can be the solution.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Well, what I try to do now is to say for the suppliers that I'm in Europe, and if they need me, I'm here to talk to. I'm here to convince Siegfried to make a contract with them.
Very.
And that is a lot of work, That's very complicated.
No, it is very easy. As you said, I really react on food.
With the whiskey.
Well, if it's a really react on food, I think he can travel to Portugal.
Absolutely.
Ricardo, if you have inbound, Siegfried is good because in Portugal
Absolutely.
a lot of food.
Wine and gastronomy, it's the best in the world. It's here.
I know. It's one of the most beautiful countries I know. Yeah.
And I think for Craig it's simple. If he can invite a lot of Russian people because they like to drink.
It's easy, very much so. Come on.
Yeah, and you can sell like a kami during the coronavirus because the alcohol killed the coronavirus.
And that's why we actually have whiskey that comes out the taps here. it's the best cure for the corona.
But you see, all here, the only who has a very healthy face is Craig. It's a lot of whiskey that makes your face like that. Thank you. Okay, guys. So, do someone wanna add something? Say some pieces for the month.
To finish, just saying, let's keep enthusiastic and optimistic, because we are facing very hard times. It's true, everybody, not only us. But after the storms come the sun, always. And people are really suffering right now for being deprived of their freedom because of the quarantine. And I think the first thing that people will want to do after the quarantine will be traveling. So we will get out of these hard times. So it's just a hard time to go through, but the things will get better after all. So that's my last sentence.
I think I have the impression that the Europeans will be like the dogs from the flat. There is the flat, there is the dog. When you open the door, they go like.
Let's go traveling.
This moment we needed to catch the clients. But one question that we needed to say, because a very important point, you are not afraid that when it's finished, the coronavirus, the price it will be increased like a hell?
Yes.
And what to protect for that? That is a main question, because I imagine today people say, no, the hotels is empty, etc. But tomorrow, when everybody want to travel at the same times, the GMCs, etc. You are not afraid. Well, okay, Siegfried is a rich guy, he don't care. It's a rich company. What's the client? My clients don't care. Any 400 euros, it's okay.
Alberto, come on.
Come on.
I just told you the Germans negotiate hardest, so.
That's the problem. That's the main problem, because the money the Germans have, but there is this problem to open.
Well, there's an old rule for every entrepreneur. Profit starts in purchasing. This is always true.
Well, I have an impression that if I crash my company, I should go to Munich and ask some business or some place for work with Siegfried. But you are not afraid about this point that it will be increased like crazy and then can stop again the tourism?
Well, there are 2 points actually. If the suppliers, whatever conference centers and hotels, if they want to catch up revenues by raising prices tremendously, they really bite themselves. It is. It would be actually a suicide. And on the other side, I learned if you are wise and you had good partners and customers before, you treat these customers after the crisis the same before, and you don't.
Even better.
Or even better, and you don't solve your problems by your customers. Of course you do, but not by rising prices to heaven. This is really would be there will be some locations and some hotels where the prices will rise because of demand, of course. But on average, I think we will have a slow development of prices, and customers decide where to go. So every location decides which prices they offer.
But there is one point important, is because what you said, it's very European mentality, very European way. if your clients go outside of Europe, it can be a problem. For example, Africa is like that. They see a small opportunity, the safari to be 3 times more. Places like Rio de Janeiro, Maital, can be this problem. So how to figure out with that? What do you think, Craig?
I'm not entirely sure on that part. I do think it will be a gradual from demand will be original from the start will be quite slow. Therefore, prices will remain quite low. If companies do try and hike prices up, they will be found out and won't be used by DMCs or buyers. In terms of, you're making a joke about the Germans being quite tight-fisted. The Scots are probably more tight-fisted.
True. Yeah, true.
So, if people try and see to take advantage of the market that way, they will be found out. I don't know the exact ins and outs of government funding across Europe, but a lot of hotels have been subsidised by governments, especially in the UK. Therefore, they're able to continue operating under the furlough scheme currently. So there might not be a need straight away for them to bring back high prices because they've been able to sustain their staff costs throughout this period. So that may help keep the prices low at the other side of this.
Yeah. There could be actually one remark. There could be, if the crisis takes quite a long time, and if the crisis management isn't good in regards of liquidity and saving the companies like hotels and so on, if we have a lot of bankruptcies, then the prices could rise afterwards because there are just not as many hotels anymore or locations. That could be, but I don't hope so, and I really don't think so. There will be a solution for that.
Yeah, I agree with all of you. The only concern and doubt that I do have is with the air companies, with the big, because they are in charge. They are in charge, so they can do whatever they want. Let's hope that we can still fly with affordable prices, because or else, well, the traveling is doomed. Let's see. Something to wait and see.
And we don't have to forget, for the whole industry, the tendency to do events online will be much higher after the crisis than now. So the demand won't rise that much, I guess. So just because people stay home and do video conferencing and whatever. But we all don't know how big this wave will be.
Yeah. Do you think that people will travel less to make more meetings online?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure about this.
Yeah. In terms of time save, especially in a certain country, I believe that this will happen. It will become a norm. It won't take away from the large trade shows and the large international events, but internal company meetings may be replaced. That's hopefully not going to happen, but in the short term, it certainly will be. And the word hybrid's been used a couple of times, so that's going to be a factor as well.
Well, and the big companies like Google, Microsoft, they have done it for years, virtual meetings and so on. But the middle-sized companies, they get in touch with all this technical stuff, and they know how to do it now. And I think for us as an event agency or for a supplier, it is really necessary, as I mentioned at the beginning, to offer services to take over the whole organization, the facilitation of these virtual events, because they are not easier than the live events. Actually, they are a little bit more complicated if you want to have the same effect out of the event in regards of a personal event or offline event. And I guess this is a chance for us to coach the speakers, to coach the facilitators, to get the technical equipment running and all this. Hey, that's a chance at the end.
Yeah, massively.
Well, it to be a challenge, I think, for the suppliers, how to find the right buyer in this moment of a crisis. It's quite complicated now. I think many companies in Europe will bankrupt.
I think if we have this conversation in 3-4 weeks' time, it will be completely different because we'll know a wee bit more.
Because you're going to say, my client is dead.
No. I mean, sometimes it would make life easier, but I'm joking. No, of course not. It's more to do with the fact that there'll be more of confidence in the fact that we will know more where we are in terms of the health. This isn't over until there's mass immunisation. And until such times as that is on the horizon, we can't predict where the industry is going to go. All we can do is hope that the lockdowns have an effect that then leads to a staged comeback of people going back into society, which then in turn will lead to confidence in events, which will in turn kick back our industry. So until such times as we've got data from 3-4 weeks' time, we are in an uncertain future, though I would be looking for Q4 to be a step back to normality, with 2021 looking like what is normal. Again, whatever that may have been. I think that's where we're at currently.
Well, yeah, to be fantastic. Yeah, let's see how it to be, because the coronavirus goes so faster that yeah. Okay, guys. So I hope all companies don't bankrupt, for sure. Melanie, no, because Melanie has a client. It's French people who work in Switzerland, where the salary is 5,000 euros, so they don't have a problem. Yeah.
No, but some of them are losing the job as well in Switzerland, so it may be dangerous as well.
There is many of your clients had this kind of surprise?
Well, actually, in Switzerland, if something is going wrong, like now, the first people that they are firing are the strangers, so French as an example, or German maybe.
Oh, I agree. What you can say to finish our conversation? What you can say for the suppliers, how they should work from now to the European market? We have to say then, please don't call Siegfried right now. He's not ready.
I'm always ready.
Wait a little more, or what do you think that they should behave now?
Well, my advice, if I go out there and try to coach them to get the story across, is always to change the role and to think differently in regards of being a hotel or being a conference center and offering rooms and spaces. It is not the job of a conference center to sell a space. It is to sell a concept, an idea, to help the supplier, the buyer, the agency to do their job better. And this is the chance now. You asked what they can do now. If they change the role from trying to sell something now to communicate what they have done extraordinary, what they are capable of, what they are competent and keen on, what they want to change in the world, if they really communicate content now and not sales sentences, then I would listen much more, and my customers would too. So actually, in regards of agencies, the same. And every event agency now could really think about, what do I actually know? And what could I write about online on Facebook? Not about what I have done and how good I am and how well, but what can I teach and educate my community? That would be of value, and you would get attention.
When you talk, I understand that. What's the main fault that the supplier doing when they try to sell for you, for example, when they call you or in the trade shows? What's like you say like, well, it's impossible, even if the project is very good, even the hotel is very good.
Well, what they do wrong is they sell. That's it.
Yeah.
If they wouldn't sell with priority one, but care who is sitting there and what he or she wants to hear and needs to hear at this moment, and this is what Ricardo said: asking questions first and taking care about the others, and not doing a presentation 20 times at an exhibition. Then it would be a conversation on a consultancy basis, and I would appreciate the talk. I could say stop selling first and try to understand priority one.
Yep. I think a follow-up to that, it's showing empathy. Like, the agencies are suffering, the events are suffering, the suppliers are suffering. We all are. We're all human. We want that human connection. We want an arm round us. We want that cuddle. We want to be told everything's going to be okay, and it will. And in terms of what the marketing should be coming, it should be, how are you? What's happened? What business have you lost? We've got some ideas. Let's see how we can work together. And for their own content, what we want from that is for them to inspire us. As you say, create that story, that dream, that massive event. Give us that, inspire us, entertain us, educate us, help us, make our life easier, inform us of what starts to happen. And then rewards as well, like you were saying earlier, Ricardo, about potential, a bottle of wine every night in the room. You know, something small like that could be the difference of going to one place than another. And the content at this moment in time should inspire, entertain, educate, help, inform, and reward, while showing empathy and telling us everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
I would like also to finalize. Just to say, what is the sum up? We cannot wait for COVID to end, so we have to move now. That was something that we all said and we agree. And the recipe for the business is resist, innovate, collaborate, what Craig was saying now, and believe, what Melanie was saying. So that will be my recipe.
And you, Melanie, what's your recipe for?
Well, I already said quite the same thing. Collaboration is very important. We are all together in this bad situation, and we should not react selfishly. DMCs or hotels or airlines companies or travel agencies, we are all together, and we all need each other to stay alive. So collaboration is very important, and keeping hope as well.
Yeah. So what I can say from my side is like the concept of my company is still a representative consultant. So, but I have to travel because the company H to H, human to human. That's why we don't sell first. We try to take a connection. So. Well, soon the airport open. I will visit all guys to show the world for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a last word.
Yeah, please.
Just from all of us, thank you very much, Alberto, for organizing this. It was a great talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank for me. Okay, look. See you.